So great to speak today, Andrew, and delighted to have you here for this interview as well. So could you just kick things off by introducing yourself and, of course, Your.Rentals?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Paul, and good to see you again. So for those who don't know me, I'm Andrew Martyn. I'm co-founder and CEO at Your.Rentals. A little bit about me, I'm Australian by birth, but found my way to Scandinavia in 23 years ago. So I count myself as a more Scandinavian these days. And I guess just a little bit of history. I fell into the short-term rental sector because I think there's two things I love. One is travel and one is tech. And back in 2009, I had an opportunity to jump in and start looking into the short-term rental sector. So being a big user even back then of short-term rentals, we always rent for our holidays and even business travel these days. So it just was pretty close to my heart. A few companies along in 2016, I really felt there was quite a big shift in the industry. The OTAs had really matured and taken a lot of share of booking market. And had a lot of experience working with particularly small business property managers and the challenges they were facing to really grow their businesses, or at least be profitable. So Your.Rentals was born out of an idea to create a solution for both private hosts, but also primarily small businesses to run their business. So our vision was to provide a single place they could log in each day to run the business, and we would help them be more successful. And of course, six and a half years later, we've lived through COVID and a range of things. And thankfully, this side of COVID, we all know that the industry has had a couple of boom years, and that's helped us all come through the other side. And now we're just really excited about continuing to build out the platform and offering we have for small business property managers and private hosts.
Excellent. And you say that you've been running the business now for 6.5 years, and we've gone through COVID and various other challenges as well. So, within your goal, how do you aim to help property managers and hosts manage their properties more efficiently? And kind of how has this changed over time as well?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it is such a complex business to run, to run a short-term rental business. And it's equally as complex for a private host just working with one property. Typically, then you've got another job as well. So it's about the breadth of what you need to be good at. Everything from sourcing inventory if it's your business, signing contracts, reporting to your suppliers, those who own the properties, to then being an expert in marketing and distribution, pricing to make sure that you're actually generating the right revenue or the maximum revenue you can. And then, of course, the whole hospitality part of it, of welcoming guests and providing an excellent product for them to stay in, chasing them for a review. So it's like a very broad range of skills you need to be good at. So really our approach is that small businesses and private hosts, they're very time poor, and you can't be good at everything. But what we can see is there's a lot of daily routines and things that take a lot of time, or things that are very hard to master and become skillful at. And that's what we aim to solve through technology, but more and more now sort of a service layer around the core software and technology that we provide. So it's about making our hosts and property managers successful, removing a lot of the stress and knowing things that they need to do, and helping them build a lifestyle business, because that's often why we get into this. It's about the lifestyle it gives you.
And I know with Your.Rentals as well, you place this really keen emphasis on sustainable tourism as well. And when we talk about sustainable tourism, I think it's also key. It's also important to differentiate that, it's not always just about carbon emissions and carbon footprint and all of these matters, but also about the social impact, which again, I know you're keen to talk about. But what exactly does this involve with your business? Ultimately, why do you do it, and who for as well?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's really important to us as a company and as a team to have solid values that we try to live our lives by. So, of course, carbon emissions and everything is super important. And I think the industry is starting to take some really clear steps towards minimizing the footprint, not just short-term rentals, but the whole travel ecosystem. I'm really impressed when we go to certain partner events where they talk about this as top priority. So, of course, we want to jump on that and do everything we can to educate our customers what's possible, what's available, and in some cases, just being more carbon efficient means you can actually save cost as well, which is important. So there's part of that role, but the other part, which I think that doesn't get talked about enough, is the local tourism factor. When I do talk to customers, one of the pressures they have is, of course, regulation is one part of it. The other part is competition for supply. So our kind of core value is that tourism is a local thing. It allows people to come and explore and learn about what makes this place special, or these people different and special. And that's why we travel. A lot of us travel because it's curiosity, and it's only a good thing for the world. But what we really tend to focus on is the local businesses, right? So we don't work with the big corporates that are really trying to suck up inventory and create a hotel-like experience on short-term rental inventory. We believe that the local business operators and the local owners are the ones that should provide this service, because that's why we travel, and also benefit from it. And if you think about the volume of tourism a small business property manager brings to their local community, we believe that the money and the revenue from that should stay with the local community and businesses. If you don't do that, if the profits go offshore, then of course there's going to be a lot more pressure for regulation. So we think for the health of the industry and also local communities, this is really important to support the local business owners.
I think that's actually a really noble and refreshing principle to hear. It's not necessarily something that is sort of so commonly talked about within tourism and the short-term rental industry itself. But you talked there about money briefly as well. And something that's been quite exciting in the news recently is that you've just raised 2.15 million euros. But you've also done it in quite a new and quite exciting fundraising approach. So I'd like you just to delve a little bit more into that and how it is innovative.
Yeah, look, I mean, of course, we raise money to invest more in reaching the goals we have and growing our company. And, it's been a really bumpy ride when you consider COVID and everything along the way. Some sectors did really well in COVID, but like e-commerce, but of course, travel got really, really hardly hit, as we all know. So fundraising, we've had to take a different spin on things. The climate last year, the day that Russia invaded Ukraine, capital markets just basically exploded, you could say, and we've seen all the macroeconomic impacts thereafter with high interest rates, etc. So what really happened as we were preparing to raise was that it became very hard to raise, and it became very expensive to raise money. So VCs are not writing checks. They do write checks, but very low valuations, and not writing so many checks. And I was at a conference the last 2 days to see the impact of that. It is massive. You shouldn't underestimate it. So congrats to anyone that raised VC money last year. There weren't that many. So what we decided to do was to kind of play to our strengths. We didn't want to raise a lot of money, counts us out of the VC round. And we wanted to involve our community in the fundraise as well. So we combined what we call private placements. So people that have been interested in the business were able to invest, but we also opened it up to our community of hosts and property managers who are screaming for new product features or this or that. And we said, well, we want to give it to you, but we need to invest. And if you would like to invest in us, we'll spend that to build a better and better service for you. So we did a portion of the fundraise on the Seedrs equity crowdfunding campaign was extremely successful, and we're really proud and happy with the result.
Yeah, I totally echo those points there. Again, very topical right now with the current funding environment that we're finding ourselves in travel and hospitality in general. But I want to focus as well on how you intend to use these proceeds, and the ultimate goal it appears to be is to build what you call like a truly all-in-one solution. So what exactly does this entail, and why does it matter for your company?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, we've seen, let's say the software vendor industry just absolutely balloon in the last 10 years. I mean, it started with PMSs and then channel managers. And more recently, we've seen lots of other vendors around the outside doing guest experience or payments or IoT, different things around the core. And we started building the core. But what we found is that small business and private hosts don't really want to build their own tech stack with 4 or 5 different vendors connecting via API and paying them all separately. That's one of the real friction points when customers find us, is they've maybe tried to start building that and found it too difficult, found it quite expensive. And, like I said, it's a really broad business, and now you have to be an expert in tech. So we want to clear that all off the table. And there's some amazingly good solutions out there. But often when you put it all together, it's actually too much. It's not necessary to have all the features that everyone thinks is important. So our focus is really on our core customer segment and building what they need to run their business. And the fundraise was really done so that we can invest a lot more in our product. It's what customers have been telling us. So we've already started building out our product management team, more than doubled in size than this time last year. And of course, hiring more engineers as well. So most of the investment's going into product.
Thank you, Andrew. And of course, we're looking forward to some industry events coming up. We're hosting the STRz Awards next week. And then you and I, we're working together on a session at the Short Stay Summit next Thursday. What do you think the benefit of these events is really, whether that's for the industry in general or for Your.Rentals as well?
Look, yeah, I mean, super excited to come to London next week. I haven't actually been to those events before, so I'm personally really excited. We're bringing a good team of people from Your.Rentals to be there. So it's a chance to engage with both our partners. I mean, we work very closely with all the OTAs, of course, and other tech suppliers, but of course about the customers as well. So my favorite events are the ones where there's a really good representation of property managers and even private hosts that we can talk to and engage and pitch ourselves to and see what the feedback is. So that's what I love about it. And of course, the keynotes and different panel discussions, you always come out learning something. So I'm really excited.
Oh, thank you very much, Andrew, and looking forward to seeing you very soon.
Very soon, and you've got a lot of work to do, Paul. So I'll let you get on with it.
Thank you, Andrew. Great to catch up.
Thank you. Cheers.